Hello, beginning of another little week across the entire unit. What's it say behind me? HX. I hadn't even realised I put those letters up there in that kind of random order. I was unloading stuff and just, there's a Z and a Q over there. I've got an H and X. And I'm trying to get letters so I can comprise all the animals of Chinese astrology. Hagan Fox or HF or something. I just love playing with letters and numbers. Anyway, that HXO there means precisely nothing. Zip. So we start the week with eyes, might be helpful. Pair of eyes, paying you the closest attention. Rather grumpy moon in Virgo. I mean, the thing about Virgo moon, I possess it. It's just a nervous moon, right? Not the strongest moon, but it's very bright, very intelligent moon. And it is in conjunct Venus and Pluto today. So it's a kind of cool Virgo energy on certain levels. Certainly it's very intellectual. So if you have to be very precise, if you have to be rather intellectual, if you have to, just show what you can do on a upstairs level, good day to do it. Good day to do it. But just don't get nervous. Don't feel unsettled. Don't allow the nervousness of the Virgo moon to overwhelm your day. So could be good. Could be good. If you stay upstairs, if you come downstairs to the heart and get nervous and sort of, destabilized, could go awry. 6th of May, Tuesday, great day. Oh, I love this day. Venus sextile Pluto. Yes. Venus sextile Pluto is gorgeous and fabulous. Sextile 60 degrees apart, rock and roll, love it. Venus financial planet, Pluto financial planet, Venus love, Pluto progressive in Aquarius, wanting to help you deconstruct and reconstruct your life. So there it lies. If you're looking to reconstruct, first of all, deconstruct and reconstruct your love life or the world of relationships, great day. It's like, right. I'm single and I'm going to deconstruct that entire psyche and situation. And I'm going to go and reconstruct my love life progressively and just come home tonight with a little soulmate type thing. Yes. Deconstruct shit love life, reconstruct it positively, part 1. Fiscally, if your life is a financial shit show, you're just thinking, I don't know how much I've got, I don't know where it is, I don't know what my investments are, where they are, whether they're good, whether they're negative, whether they're progressive, whether they have any potential. If you know nothing about your life financially, get your shit together because here is the day. Venus sextile Pluto is saying you can fiscally, because both these planets are financial planets, literally reconstruct the entire fiscal framework of your life on Tuesday, the 6th. Right, 7th of May, Wednesday, 7th, great day. Mercury conjunct Chiron. Conjunction, the most powerful, potent, is when two planets literally sat on top of each other at 0 degrees. And they could be up to, how far away? Up to 180 degrees apart. And they're literally next door on top of each other. So it's potent and positive, unless Capricorn or Saturn is involved, then it's less so. But this is positive. This is Mercury conjunct Chiron. Chiron, awesome, love Chiron, makes everything beautiful in the world of spirituality, physically, mentally, emotionally. Chiron, known as the wounded, Chiron was known as the wounded healer. This is why historical sort of stories just, kind of just progressed through the ages. Chiron was basically accidentally shot by Heracles, and he was a healer, Chiron, but he was primarily a very wise man, great sage, Chiron. But because he was also a healer and he was wounded by Heracles, he became known as the wounded healer. And so his great wisdom, which for me characterizes the entity of the of what Chiron is, who he is, and what he is, the entire essence of Chiron has been lost by this rather fiction. It's a true story, but it's basically labeled him the wounded healer. And then as soon as someone thinks, oh, wounded healer, oh, that must mean I have to go back to my past to heal myself. No! He just got wounded by Heracles. Heracles obviously having an off day with the bow and arrow. And thereafter was known as the wounded healer. Basically, Chiron is the wisest soul that ever lived. Wiser than, well, not ever lived. I mean, that's over the top. But in terms planetary-wise, the wisest. Chiron. So therein knows everything about everything. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. He just understands all areas of life and can improve upon it. Here, he's conjunct Mercury, which is all things intellectual. So we're talking about a very wise Chiron and the wisdom of Mercury. And I mean, it's all things communication as well, really. It's all about networking. So because it's Chiron, it's very benefic, positive energy. So you cannot really, I mean, for me, Mercury is a kind of modern day iteration of Mercury, really is networking for me. It's communication, but communication these days, networking is a more appropriate term for me. So if you are required to network in any area of life and to network in an intellectual fashion, utilizing the grey matter that is at your disposal. Oh my gosh, today's the day, 7th of May. Could not be a better day. It's just magical. You need to show what you've got in your back pocket intellectually. Harness the energy of Mercury and Chiron, and your audience will be blown away. They'll be like that. Whoa. Knowledge. And you'll be like, what is Chiron? But that's our secret. Hello, Thursday the 8th. All sorts going on this week, every single day. Well, it's a slow start with a kind of potentially grumpy Virgo moon, but then, we're kind of like escalating through the heavens rather progressively and positively, and today's no different. Mercury sextile, 60 degrees, great, positive, quite lucky little aspect, 60 degrees. The north nodes, the moon's north node, just to remind you, the moon, which is not a moon, it's a satellite, has two little satellites, if you like, called the south node and the north node. And the south node is the little spaceship from whence you came from your previous incarnation or another universe or planet, however you like to, visualize your journey here. And the north node is where you're heading. And if you want to know a little bit more about the south node and the north node, I'm going to do a separate video about that, just explaining the power of it. And I will also be recommending a magnificent book associated with the south node and the north node upcoming. Now, Mercury semi-sextile, the north node, the node, that's north node because this is where you're kind of heading. So if you want to really understand where you're heading, not understand, if something occurs today that has a very destiny-esque feel to it, and it's connected to travel, kind of communication, networking, so any kind of like travel that takes place and networking that takes place and communication that takes place today, and you think, and you meet someone and you think, I feel I've met you for a reason. I feel that this meeting today is going to change my life positively, potentially. And not just that, put me on the right path because I think I'm currently on the wrong path. So if you do feel that in your life you're on the wrong path, put yourself out there today because you might meet someone who will vicariously put you on the right path. Because in Vedic astrology, you're born and basically they say this is your path. If you go left or right, you're screwed. But if you follow the right path, the joys that are bestowed upon your shoulders. So if you feel, right, because not everyone knows, what their path is, but when we sort of discover it, we immediately think this is it, right? And if you feel you haven't hit it yet, this Thursday, the 8th of May, could be the day when you go to bed, hitting that pillow thinking, finally, at the age of 127, I know where the fuck I'm meant to be going. Friday the 9th of May. Mercury again. I think Mercury's been in play for 5 days in a row, I think, which means this would suggest to me, not suggest to me, it would suggest to the universe that you little Geminis, because Virgo for me is ruled by either Vesta or somebody else, still working on Virgo's ruler, but it ain't Mercury. Now, ultimately, we have Mercury sextile Saturn. Whenever Saturn's involved, right, a sextile is very positive. This is Saturn being positive. Yay! It's unusual. So, but when Saturn is sort of like yielding, acquiescing, going, all right, I'll help. You know what I mean? And you don't have to work too hard, which you normally do with Saturn. So effectively, it's thus. Mercury is all about networking. For me, primarily. Networking, communication, could be travel. It's one of these three, right? Network, communication, travel. So if any of these things are involved in your life today, and something, but you have to apply yourself Saturn-esque, sort of, with a Saturn-esque mindset. So be very professional, be efficient, be organized, be structured in all things communication, travel, and networking. And then if you are, Saturn will be watching you thinking, you really have been good today. You got up early, organized, structured, put everything together, great presentation, whatever it is you did. If Saturn could look you in the eyes at the end of the day, and he does all right like that. If Saturn can look you in the eyes at the end of the day and say, no, if you can look Saturn in the eyes at the end of the day and said, I fucking delivered, Saturn will look you straight back in the eyes and say, you did, and here's your gift. So as long as you play the Saturn's card and be brilliant and organized and structured in all things communication, networking, and travel, however it might be, whatever it might, in those areas primarily, or the written word, you know, writing, literature of any description. In any of these areas, if you really get your shit together and literally put in a semi-professional performance in whatever area it is, Saturn is really good at rewarding, you know, if you are exceptional. But he's a hard taskmaster. He is the teacher, Saturn, Cronus, Karma, right? He's a teacher. And so it's very difficult to even get a smile or a handshake out of him, but he will reward you if he is suitably impressed. So get on it. Saturday the 10th, getting towards the weekend. What am I talking about? We've made it to the weekend. Yay! And we haven't really partied yet because there's been so much going on up there. And today it's still going on. And have a guess. Quelle surprise. It's Mercury again. This time Mercury entering Taurus. Now, when Mercury enters Taurus, Mercury in Aries is kind of like energized, sort of communicative, networking, and sort of like, you're not really able to just create some literary like opus type thing because it's all a bit rushed, it's all a bit mad, all a bit manic. Now, when Mercury moves into Taurus, as I and being a Taurus is very appropriate for me because I'm writing a book for you guys, and I didn't really want to commence it until Mercury moved into Taurus, just because I know that's the perfect time to write a book. So I will be commencing said book. Can't tell you what it's about per se, but I think you'll like it. And for sure, it will apply to every last one of you. Every one of you will have, it's a lot of chapters, and every one will have a chapter that is all about you. So, I digress. Basically, this is a great move by Mercury into Taurus if you're about to write the greatest novel that you've ever dreamt of putting to paper. I mean, it's not pen to paper these days. It'd be nice if it was quill to some ornate, beautiful, I don't know, creperie. No, I can't say creperie, can I? I'm not too sure whether I can. Anyway, you can visualize. I just love the word quill. Oh, it's beautiful. Anyway, yes, I would say this period of especially the first 3 days, these are the truly powerful days to initiate anything in life, life and death. First 3 days, last 3 days of your life, very, very potent. You arrive and it's exciting, and then you kind of just sidle off. But these are big, big events. Beginning and end of cycles, most potent. So first 3 days of Mercury in Taurus, 10, 11, 12th of May. Please, if you don't mind, write that exceptional novel that has been waiting in the, I don't know, the sort of the cellar of your soul to be commenced. It needs to, no, yes, has been waiting in the cellar of your soul for decades, waiting, weeping, crying, desperately waiting to be unearthed and put before the universe. Now is your time. We made it! Yes, but hold on. Big, fat, juicy moon up there, staring down. And that is a fucking potent moon. It's a day before a full moon. It's a moon in Scorpio, and it's a day before a moon in Scorpio. And it's moon in Scorpio next Monday, so we'll cover that then. But ultimately, this is the day before the full moon is normally the most potent point of the month. I would argue that the day before the full moon in Scorpio is probably one of the most potent days of the year. If this moon in Scorpio is opposite or square, say Saturn or Mars or Neptune, this day would be a fucking shit show, like a real, like, just carnage, car crash day waiting to happen. But no, this is an incredibly potent, powerful moon, but it's kind of benefic, it's positive. It's actually, we are able to harness the deep, knowledgeable essence of this Scorpio moon. So it is a day, I would suggest, a Sunday, we don't get many days in our life to actually sit down somewhere very, very quiet and reflect deeply. Go really, really. This is not something that I ever do, but I understand the value of it, right? Really. I spend my universe ruminating, so I don't really take days out to just deeply ruminate, as it were. But because it's a Sunday, it's very appropriate. This is a day when if you've just woken up in the last, I don't know, few months thinking, I am fucked, I am tired, I'm on the wrong path, I'm with the wrong person, I'm in the wrong country, I'm in the wrong location, everything. These are the days when you have to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I think I fucked up. Nothing wrong with that, because when we fuck up, we learn, and we turn our lives around and we progress. And if you think I haven't fucked up and I haven't backed myself into many a corner through some wondrously catastrophic decision making, you'd be wrong. I surely have, but I'm happy about it. For the reasons that we make I'm objective, so I make decisions. You don't get them all right, because obviously you're at the behest of light, not the universe. I make decisions based on the positive nature of the planets, but people get in the way. Human beings get in the way of great plans. The greatest obstacle in life is human beings. That's just the nature of the beast. So this is an amazing day to really look in the mirror and say, right, what have I got right and what have I got wrong? And let's not look at what I've got right. Let's not just have an ego fest. Let's look at what I've got wrong and why I got it wrong and how I can learn from it and how I can move forth truly positively with a learned kind of mindset. Okay, I ain't gonna go there or do that ever again. Here's your day to remind yourself that this will never be the case again. A day to banish repeated patterns forever. Now, as always, I have to say, God bless you all. Please continue to follow and subscribe, and just, If you love what I do, please continue to comment. I'm extremely busy right now, so I do read and I sort of go to bed at night thinking, right, I must reply to these wonderful comments and these, you know, just everything you say and do I love. And I'm just there. And then I wake up with a pad and pen in my hand, sort of like, I fell asleep after about 3 seconds. So I will try and be more adept and not go to bed such a late hour where I just go to bed and fall asleep. I'll stay downstairs in my little lounge and respond more readily and more spontaneously here on in. Keep doing what you do. Keep playing with me, because if you want to play with me, I want to play with you. Two-way gig. It will continue apace, and I'm coming up with all sorts of little bits and pieces for you that won't break your bank, because albeit I do consultations, I am acutely aware that not everyone can afford to have a consultation. Therein, I'm kind of creating algorithms that won't cost a lot, you know, like £1 a month or whatever it might be, that everyone is able to tap into my knowledge, if it's my knowledge that you like. So I just want you to know that I'm aware of the kindness and the loyalty that you show me, and and it'd be nice to give something back to everyone, or that everyone can kind of access. So I'm working on a few things. Nothing happens overnight, but you do inspire me to come up with really original, innovative aspects of my knowledge that can benefit you guys hugely. And I'm a problem solver, left-handed. That's where the problem solving takes place, right side of the brain. So I love to problem solve. Right? So I'm constantly coming up and conceiving of ideas that potentially have positive outcomes, not just for me and the universe, if you like, but for you too. Until next week, ciao.